Good morning, creative writing classes. This is Creative Writing 1 and Creative Writing 2. I am super excited for your assignment this week. It should be a fun one. It's going to be super challenging. However, before I jump into that, I want to say that you guys are doing a great job with keeping up to date on stuff. You guys are doing super awesome. I also want to let you know that unfortunately, we are not going to be able to meet back up as a class in person before the year is over. It seems really sad to say, but we're going to be doing school in this online format until the end of the year this year. So it's a bit of a bummer because I love being able to talk to all of you guys and get to know you better, but we'll make it work. Now, I want to let you know kind of how I see our class going forward. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys a new piece of writing every 2 weeks. So you're not going to be having to write as much or as many, I should say, different stories, but we're still going to be writing. So what'll happen is each week I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I expect for the week. So I'll give you an overview of what type of writing we're going to be doing that assignment, and then I'm going to kind of cut you guys loose to write. Depending on what we're doing, like this week is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have you write, but there's going to be a secondary aspect to that. And what I'll be doing is just kind of giving assignments, and then I'll put some video links to help you in the assignment each week, and then I'll kind of cut you guys loose to do your own thing. If you have questions and you want an example of this writing, I'll put some in video format. I'll also be giving you guys a link to the story that I'll write, kind of following the same guidelines that you guys are, and that will be used so you can kind of have an example to see what you need to do if you are having issues with the assignment for the week. Now, this week, we're going to be taking a novel or a book that is near and dear to my heart, one that I loved growing up when I was really tiny, and you guys are going to be trying your own hand at it. And that novel is the Choose Your Own Adventure novel. That's right, guys. You're going to be writing a Choose Your Own Adventure story. Now, if you don't know what those are the stories where the writer writes in second person, meaning they address the story to you. So it's not saying I did this, it's not saying Timmy did this, it's saying you woke up and looked outside of your bedroom window. You noticed that there were robots milling the streets. You are going to address the reader and have them put themselves into the role of the protagonist of your story. Not only are you going to do that, but after you write a little bit, you're going to give them a choice, right? So, robot overlords, do you decide to pinch yourself and see if you're still dreaming? Do you decide to run downstairs and lock the door? Or do you decide to yell for your mom and dad, right? And then so your reader is going to have an option 1, 2, or 3, and then they're going to get to choose how the story goes. So you're going to be creating a story, giving the reader choices to follow, and they're going to be able to go on to those. The fun thing about this is it's totally up to you. So it doesn't matter on the genre. It doesn't matter about the content. You are basically going to be tasked with writing any type of story that you want. The stipulations are going to be that it is in second person writing, that you have multiple choices when you have choices, right? So the more choices you give people, if you give them 2 to 4 choices, that'll make the story more interesting. And here's what we're going to do. For Creative Writing 1, I'm going to give you guys, you need a minimum of 4 different endings to your story. All right, that seems pretty easy. Minimum of 4. I'm going to have you guys shoot for 8 as kind of like that A level. So minimum of 4, that's kind of the base. You want to get that A range, have 8 different endings. Now, Creative Writing 2, I'm going to challenge you guys. Your minimum is going to be 8, and I'm going to ask you to shoot for 14. All right, 14 plus if you want to be in that nice, spicy A range. Now, there's going to be some ways that we're going to do this. All right, so make sure that you're listening through this whole video so that you aren't going to end up being in trouble in doing this wrong. So you're going to be writing this week, you're going to be writing next week, and you're going to be turning this story in a little bit of a different format than usual and in a different way than usual. Now, I'll explain that at the end of the video, but right now I want to kind of jump into the things that make this story incredibly hard. All right, second person narrative structure is hardly ever used um, except for in choose your own adventure novels or in certain small or short stories. The reason why is because it's incredibly hard to write in, because you always have to address the audience or the reader as you, and you need to do the best that you can to immerse them into the story. Now, second person is awesome because it takes the reader and it plops them directly down as the main character in the story. So it can be really fun with that, but you need to make sure that you're having a lot of action, a lot of stuff that's moving the story forward. Because if it's just boring stuff, then the reader's like, I'm the main character, but I'm in the most boring story in the world, and then they'll be sad, right? So think about it as like a video game, where you play as someone, right? You're in their position, you see what they see, all that sort of stuff. If there's nothing happening, it's going to be boring and you're going to put it down, right? So really immerse the reader in your story. Now, like I said, this is hard because you have to be really on top of your game as a writer. And the other reason why it's hard is because you never write in this format. So this story is going to be frustrating to a lot of you guys. What I would do is simply just take a little bit of time each day and write it piece by piece. Don't try to do this all at once, because for some of you guys, this may turn your brain into a giant pile of mush. So if you're getting frustrated with it, put it away, come back to it the next day. Don't worry about it. It's tough. Now, as far as writing this story, all right, you're going to be using Google Slides to write this story. You might be saying, Mr. Pulsifer, why am I using Google Slides? That's weird. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be using Google Slides. So you'll write your story in the top hand portion or in the slide, and then you'll be able to give your choices down below. And what I'm going to teach you guys how to do in a video that will play after this one, if you're on my YouTube page, it'll play next in the playlist, or you can simply find it in our Canvas page. You'll be able to see how I do this. So what we'll do is I'll write down my plot structure, and then when I want to give the reader choices on what they'll do is I'll write those, and I can hyperlink it so they click on the option they want, and it will take them to that slide, and it'll progress the story on. So what is going to happen is next week, when you guys turn this in, you're going to be turning it into a discussion board. And what's going to happen is you're going to have classmates from Creative Writing 1 or classmates from Creative Writing 2 reading, or for lack of a better word, playing through your story. Because this is going to be like a text game, right? Where they're going to read and then they're going to have choices and they're going to see if they can survive. And you're going to be seeing if you can get them to get to the end of the story, right? Now, a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, if someone makes a dumb choice, like, can they die in this story? Yeah, they can. But you're going to always make sure you give them the option to start again, right? So like, oh, your story has ended this time. Do you want to start over? And then they would click it, and then whoop, it would take them back to slide 1, and they'd start over. So you're going to be writing your story. 5 of your classmates, perhaps even more, will be playing through your stories and taking a look at how they are. Now, I'm going to have a copy of mine on there as well, so you guys can kind of play through and see what's going on as I'm writing it and at the end of the story. So it should be a lot of fun. If you are super nervous on how to make this work, you can check out my video on how to actually do this, which we'll be playing next, or you can look at my example on Canvas. Now, if you have any questions, you can always email me at gage.pulsifer@canyonsdistrict.org, or come see us in our Google Meet. So that's meet.google.com, and you use the code Breakfast News with Mr. P, and that'll get you in. I'm online from 8 to 10 every morning, so if you have questions, you can come find me and see what's going on. I know a lot of your teachers are doing live hours right now to help you out, so if you're confused, come chat. If you want to say hello, come chat. Missing you guys. I hope you have some fun writing this story. Really let your creative juices flow. This should be a fun one. And I look forward to playing through some of your stories and seeing if I can get to the end. All right, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a little bit, guys.